Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Let's start off with Mike and Nancy, because I'm going to be honest. I thought that Mike was just being an asshole to her. I get that they have stuff in their past. This is stuff that has happened way before I started to become a fan of the show. But, she came over there trying to be nice to this guy. And he was like, oh, well, I wasn't even sitting there thinking about you, this, that, and the third. And I was like, bro, what is your problem? I mean, I don't hate Nancy, but she's not exactly my favorite. But I'm still just like, bro, what is your issue with her? And so apparently they had some issue back in the day with her and Craig, and because of Abby's death, he's all like, oh well, what he said. Was you in on that too with Clyde and stuff like that? And she's like, no, I didn't know about that, and I was in a bad place when I met him, and he's still just being like just a dick. And it throughout the end of their conversation, they were on better terms, and there was even something they talking about meeting up and maybe hanging out or going out on a date or something like that. But I'm like, to be honest, I'm glad that they finished their conversation on a happier note. I was just like, bro, when are you leaving? Like, Desi was like, yo, when are you leaving Salem? You've been in here for like 2 days, and already I'm just starting to not like you. Like, when are you when are you leaving? Can you go back to New York faster? Uh, so Jennifer's leaving. She's going to New York. They have some. I mean, well, not necessarily New York, but she's going to get treatment and stuff like that with Jack. And they have this long, tearful goodbye, and I'm kind of just after a while like, Jen, when are you leaving? Like, there's a part where Jack is Cynthia talking about, oh well, I shouldn't be saying this, but all the awful things that Gwen's done. And I was like, whoa, 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 why are you bringing Gwen into this conversation for? I get that Jennifer's feeling guilty for the stuff that she's been doing, for getting behind the wheel. And, I just don't like the fact that Jack is like, well, no one will fault you for the stuff that you were doing. Like, to an extent. Now, granted, when she was talking about getting behind the wheel, he didn't say anything, but I'm like, here's the thing. I'm not the only person. I know I'm not the only person that is situations like that just bothers me. And I know I'm not the only person that feels like that. I know I've been harping on this for about like 2 or 3 days. Um, but it's because every time I think of Jennifer, I sit there and think that she got behind a wheel of a car, inebriated. She hit someone, and it's just like everyone is like, oh well, Jennifer, you've been through a lot and this, that, and the third. I'm like, I get that. I'm like, yo, listen, you could have just easily, took somebody else's daughter out in this world. I don't think that. And granted, it's a soap opera, it's a fantasy, so I'm not expecting them to like harp on that, but it's just something that just bothers me a lot. Anyway, he brings up Gwen for some odd reason, and then at some point, Mike gets back, and Mike is ready to take her to rehab, and he's going to be staying there. Maybe I have no idea. Um, no, I'm fine with them using Jack every now and then when they actually have something for him to do. I couldn't see anyone else playing him, but that's only because I've been watching him for a little bit. But yep, Jen's leaving. I don't know if Jack's leaving, Will is leaving, but that's just his thing. That's what he does. Uh, Rex tells John, don't bother to go all the way out there looking for some orchid because it's extinct. And we all know Kristen and Rolf has the last orchid. But John's like, yo, let's sit there and try to, talk to Stefan. We can get our we can get our whereabouts. But we can get a location on Ruff to Stefan. So I guess they would sit there and talk to him off screen. And next thing you know, they're at Ruff's secret lab. And like, hey, listen, we need your help. We'll pay whatever it is. We need it. We need your help to sit there and try to, cure our ladies or whatever. He's like, well, yeah, and he's thinking about the last orc. He's like, yeah, well, can't really do anything about that. Sorry. That's not what he said, but he pretty much is like, I can't help you. Now, I'm waiting for John to sit there and try option B. Because option A was to be nice to him. Option B is to get a little more hands on. I like I like Kristen. I do. But even when you like a character, you have to call them out for certain faults and things that they do. And one of the things that she's doing is using her own daughter as a weapon to break up Chloe and Brady. So this way she can get back together with Brady. Like, you're going to use your daughter? Like, really? There's just something that's just so fundamentally wrong with that. Brady, has Rachel come over for a tea party with Chloe, and Rachel just flips out, starts throwing food at her, and it's all like, oh, I can't see my mommy because of you, and this, that, and the third. And even when Brady's like, no, it was the judge. Just said that, just can't be together for a little bit. Rachel takes out a note from her lunchbox from Kristen saying, this is why I can't see you, because of Chloe. I'm like, what? Chloe feels like crap. Rachel runs into the bathroom. The hell's her name? I forgot the person's name that Brady said that Rachel was going to be, staying with for a little bit. But, Chloe feels like crap, and I feel like this is going to be the beginning of the end for Brady and Chloe, and the beginning for Chloe and Stefan. Because let's be honest, you're dating somebody, their child doesn't like you, okay? Now I've seen it go the opposite way, where it's like the parent knows that their child doesn't like this person, and they'll sit there and practically shut their child up, like, yo, listen, this is gonna be this person's gonna be in our lives, and you just gotta sit there and accept it and take it, even when this person is a true, utter scumbag. Okay, I've seen it. I've seen cases where even though the child doesn't like said person, they'll take their partner, word and everything like that over their own child. Now, obviously, Brady's not going to do that. So I feel like at some point, Chloe's just going to sit there and just take herself away from the equation. She has a conversation with Nancy, and at first Nancy's like, I'm going to stay. But Chloe's like, no, you need to sit there and go back to New York. I'm going to be fine. And, you're not going to sit there and put your life on hold for me. And I feel like that's probably what's best for her at this point in time. I mean, besides, what else is she doing? She came in, sailing for a little bit because Chloe came, Craig and the whole, coming out and everything like that, and her being with Clyde, but Clyde is in jail. They are not going to revisit that union again, so Mike is going back to New York. There's really no point in Nancy being there. So she's probably going to want leaving. Kristen stopped by to go see Marlena. And, Marlena, she keeps doing this whole... You ever just had a conversation with somebody where they just will not tell you what they want to talk about? Like, they just come and see you. It's like, hey, so what's going on? I see you're sick and stuff like that. And it's like, boo, it's been like 7 minutes. Can you just sit there and get to the point of why you're here? And she does sit there and say, I need your help with Brady, convincing, visitation. Marlene's like, I'm not going to do that. She's like, oh, all right, well, good luck with your whole illness or whatever. I felt like if Marlena would have said, yeah, I'll help you and stuff like that, she would have convinced Rolf to help um, save Marlena's life. She talked with Rolf about, well, Rachel's really close to Marlena, and I can't have her die. But I'm like, she seemed like she has no problem doing that. And if obviously Marlena's not going to die, but let's just sit there and say that they did. Rachel grows up and Rachel finds out that that Kristen could have saved her grandmother or whatever she is to her, but chose not to do it. I mean, she will lose Rachel for an extremely long time. I never say never, but for an extremely long time. What else we got? What else we got? Oh, Leo apologizes to Craig for accusing him of being a killer and the whole using him and everything like that. But Craig's not an idiot. Craig overheard the conversation as far as his legal bills and stuff like that, and he couldn't get any money from Jack when he told the story. So Craig is like, "You want money from me?" And Craig even was like, "Yo, listen, I get it. I still have feelings for you. You're very fun, but I need something more than just fun." Um, they do part on better ways, and he's like, good luck or whatever. So at some point, Leo and Sonny are going to be a thing. Gonna be a thing. May take a little bit, but it's gonna happen. So that's gonna happen. There's gonna be some back and forth with Chad and Stephanie. Because Alex still wants her, even though I feel like that's just kind of donezo. But it's gonna be a little bit of back and forth, and then Chad's own not fully be able to commit to her because Abby and everything like that. So that's gonna be. I feel like we're gonna be dealing with that for a little bit. So that should be somewhat fun. But you know what? I will say that I do like seeing this human side of Chad. Chad, like I said, when I first was watching the show, he came across as a privileged dick. He still probably comes across that way sometimes, but I like seeing the other side of Chad. And this is one of the props that I got to sit there and give to Days. Days will have a character that I don't like, or I just start off not liking like Philip. And by the time he was gone, I was rooting for Philip. I wanted Chloe so fast out of his life, and just kicked out of his life that I'm just like, man. Remember I was sitting there saying, like, I can't believe Philip, messed up with somebody like her. She's beautiful and she can sing. And now, towards the end, I was like, my goodness, this chick is annoying and moreover is disrespectful. And now they're doing it with Chad. And I gotta give them credit. I gotta give them credit. Gotta give them credit. Um, what else we got going on? Talked about Rex. Talked about Brady and Chloe. Oh, Brady went to go see Marlena, and Marlena's like, "You gotta be careful with Kristen. Document everything that she does, because she tells him." Oh, John was there to see her too, but she wasn't really hungry. Um, and then she went to sleep after that, which was almost like, what was the point of those two even being together? Like less than 5 minutes, but whatever. Um, anyway, Marlena told Brady that, you know what, Kristen went to go see me. She wanted me to work on you as far as, her getting some sort of visitation rights to see um, Rachel. Now, again, this is one of those things where it's like, it sucks for the child because the adults in their lives are failing them. It's mostly Kristen, okay? But I do feel like maybe seeing, maybe Rachel seeing Kristen every now and then isn't the worst thing in the world, you know? I mean, granted, what she's doing is just terrible, and maybe she would probably ease up a little bit if you would allow her to see her child, because, well, that is also her child. Made me sit there and question, the stuff that she's doing. It makes me sit there and, because at first I was like, man, I really wanted her to get custody, but then I sat there and looked at the stuff she did. I was like, all right, maybe she should sit there and get joint custody at best, because, um, yeah, what she's doing is just, it's messed up. Okay, it's messed up. I feel like that's about it. Yeah, I feel like that's about it. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Now I'm gonna sit there and try to go live tonight. I will sit there and put up a time. Sometimes the time is 7 o'clock, sometimes the time is 6 o'clock, but it's usually not 6 o'clock. Because even by the time I finish watching General Hospital, and then I record and stuff like that, and then I upload it, and then I want to because my whole thing is I want to make sure that I have a full bar ready to go live, you know? So I don't want to sit there and say for sure, and, throughout the day, things change. And one thing I never want to sit there and say is I'm going to go live, and then something happens like, yeah, I can't go live because this, that, and third. So that's always sit there and say I'm going to try to go live. I'm going to try to make it between, I don't know, 6 and 7, give or take. But it could also be between 7 and 7:30. It just really depends on this day. There's going to be some time in that time frame of 6 and 7, give or take. But I will put a post, so just look out for that. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.